before the sun rises over the Acropolis. You wake just before dawn. The scent of olive oil and ash lingers in the air, mingling with the faint brine from the nearby Aegean Sea. Athens stirs slowly, its marble bones warmed by the first pink touches of morning. You lie on a woven mat stuffed with dry reeds, your fingers tracing the edge of a clay oil lamp still warm from last night's flame. Outside, the academy waits. Your family shares this single room. Your father snores faintly in the corner, your younger brother curled against your mother. The thin cloth curtain separating your household from the neighbors does little to keep the murmurs of life out. Someone's baby is already crying. Chickens scratch in the alley. You have been summoned. Not by name. Plato calls for no one in particular. He calls for minds. The dusty road from your modest oikos in the lower agora to the sacred groves of Academos is alive with murmurs. Farmers pass with goats bleating, their sandals worn smooth from decades of toil. A boy sells figs by the temple steps, shouting prices as he dodges donkey carts. Two women in chitons argue over whether Apollo or Dionysus best blesses fertility. One clutches a dried laurel branch, the other a wineskin. You pass them, silent, your himation wrapped tight against the morning chill. A beggar nods from the shadows of the stoa. A slave girl washes blood from butchered lambs outside a tavern. You are not from a noble family. Your father scraped enough from his pottery trade to let you study, once. His hands are cracked, his back bent, his dreams never spoken aloud. You do not know if this invitation will come again. Today may be your only day here. You carry no scrolls, just questions. The academy is not a temple. It has no columns of gold, no painted gods. It is olive trees and open air, groves and stones shaped for sitting. A few plastered porticos lean against the shade, stacked with wax tablets, sun-dried scrolls, and clay amphorae of water. But most knowledge here floats, spoken, debated, reshaped like firelight. Here, wisdom isn't passed down, it's pulled forth. Plato stands under a fig tree, draped in gray. He is older than you expected. His face is sun-lined, not soft. His eyes are always looking, not at you, but through you. He welcomes none. He simply begins. Tell me, what is justice? The students, mostly sons of aristocrats, some foreigners, circle like moths. The city's noise fades behind stone walls. You hear only wind and ideas. The day unfolds in riddles. Plato's questions fall like hammer blows. No one answers easily. A boy your age suggests justice is obeying the laws. Another counters, what if the laws are unjust? A third proposes, justice is giving each his due, but who decides what's due? Laughter, agreement, rebuttal, a chorus of minds sharpening each other. You learn that Socrates, long dead, still lives here, not in a shrine, but in every method, the elenchus, question and refutation. Socrates, condemned by the city that now honors him, is whispered like a saint, an anti-martyr. His death is a wound that still bleeds beneath every debate. By midday your thoughts ache. Plato walks among you as if through fog. He pauses beside you. And you, do you believe the many can rule better than the wise? You do not answer, not yet. But you think of the assembly, of demagogues swaying the poor with bread and fear, of your uncle exiled during a political purge, of your mother who stopped singing after the last war.
Lunch is shared under a pomegranate tree. Simple food. Barley bread dipped in wine, olives bruised and bitter. A wedge of goat cheese crumbling between your fingers. A student offers you dried figs from his satchel. He's from Syracuse. He misses his sister, he says. She died of fever after a flood. Others debate still, even as they chew. One young man quotes a lost play by Euripides. Another insists only reason can rule desire. You stay quiet, listening, watching how the wind lifts the dust in tiny eddies, how one older student speaks with his hand always on the stone beside him, as though grounding himself to the earth. A small altar burns nearby. Someone drops in a pinch of barley flour, a gesture, half habit, half prayer. Athena watches, they say, even here. You think of the rituals at home, your mother whispering over the hearth, your grandmother's offerings at crossroads, hidden, female faiths. Afternoon brings new teachings. Plato leads you to a shaded portico, torchlit even in day. There he speaks of the cave. You see it, not just in words but in your bones. Prisoners chained since birth, seeing only shadows on a wall. One escapes, sees the fire, then the sun. And when he returns to free the others, he is scorned, disbelieved, even killed. You shiver, not from cold, from recognition. A question takes root. If truth burns, do you still chase it? Outside Athens pulses. Citizens vote in the ecclesia. Merchants haggle. Slaves bleed in the mines. Women fetch water in silence. Inside the academy, another world tries to be born. Evening draws near. You walk the garden paths with a few others. One, a girl from Delos, daughter of a physician, speaks of the symposium. She muses, Plato says love is a ladder, from the body to the soul to the eternal. She laughs. But what if the first step crumbles? You do not know how to answer. You think of your neighbor's daughter, how your hands brushed at the well, her eyes like storm clouds over Piraeus. Her father disapproves. Your families do not align. But here, love is theory. There, it is risk. She tells you of sacred rituals, how women leave offerings to Aphrodite under moonlight, how some men secretly keep lovers forbidden by law, how love, like thought, often defies decree.
You return to the agora. The market is nearly closed. Fish guts stain the stones. Perfumed oil vendors shout final prices. A man chants fragments of Homer for coins. You pass a group of slaves being auctioned. One is your age. His eyes are hollow. Philosophy doesn't feed the hungry, your father once said, but it gives them reasons. A loud debate erupts at a tavern about the 30 tyrants, the Spartan occupation, the fragile peace that followed. Athens is rebuilding, but scars remain. People speak of justice, but carry knives. You wonder, is it dangerous to think too much, or to think too little? Nightfall in the academy. You return, one final session under stars. Plato speaks softly now. He speaks of Atlantis, of justice lost, of the Republic, his dream of a city ruled by philosopher kings. Most will never see the forms, he says, but if one does, he must return to the cave. A quiet descends. The stars blink like watchful eyes. You finally speak. What if he's afraid? Plato looks at you. Then he is ready. The others murmur. You feel it, not praise, but recognition. You are offered a choice. Stay, train, live as a thinker. But your family needs your hands. Your brother is ill, your father aging. One more mouth at home may break them. You remember your mother's soft voice before dawn. Don't stay too long, child. We need you. What is justice? To pursue truth or to bear burden? That night, you walk alone past painted statues, whispering fountains, flickering braziers. You see couples hiding behind columns. A boy prays to Hermes for luck. A man stumbles drunk into the night. This city is all contradictions, glorious, cracked, alive. The dreams of forms. You dream of shadows and fire, of a city bathed in golden light, of Socrates, calm even as he drinks the hemlock, surrounded by students who love him and do nothing to save him. You dream of the girl from Delos, of walking with her not in argument, but silence, of a world where love is not theory. You dream of your little brother, laughing as he lifts a cracked jug, of your father wiping dust from his brow. You wake before dawn. You choose. You do not return to the academy. Not today, perhaps not ever. But something followed you home. In the market, you pause to ask a seller, "What is courage?" In the bathhouse, you debate with an old man about truth and reputation. You teach your younger brother to question. Plato never called you by name, but he never had to. You carry the fire now, and maybe one day you will return, not as a student, but as the one who asks the questions.